They thought they knew you. They thought they could control you, break you, or define you. But here you are, stronger, wiser, and far beyond their reach. The people who worked against you, the ones who doubted you, plotted against you, or underestimated your strength, are now afraid of you. And they should be. Why? Because you've transformed into someone they never saw coming.
Choosing
Someone
not
they
to
never
react
believed
can
you
be a
could
profound
become.
act of strength.
You see, their confidence came from your silence, your patience, and perhaps even your kindness. They mistook it for weakness. They thought their plans would work, that their manipulations would break you, that their schemes would bring you down. But here's the truth, their greatest mistake wasn't their actions against you, it was their inability to see the fire inside you. They underestimated your resilience. They thought they could steal your peace, sabotage your progress, and walk away without consequences. But when they looked back, they saw something they didn't expect, you, standing taller than ever before. Their confidence shattered and they realized their so-called power was nothing but an illusion. And now? They fear the very person they tried to destroy. Their arrogance blinded them. They walked into the situation with an air of invincibility, convinced that their power and resources made them untouchable. It's the kind of overconfidence that leads to carelessness, a burglar strolling into a house they believe to be vacant. But they didn't anticipate what was waiting on the other side. Just as a homeowner prepared and armed catches a thief off guard, your unexpected strength and resolve caught them by surprise. They saw you as defenseless, an easy target, someone they could manipulate without resistance. Yet, when you stood your ground, when you refused to back down, their illusion of control began to unravel. They underestimated you on every level. They thought your silence meant weakness, your vulnerability meant surrender, and your hesitation meant fear. But what they failed to see was the storm brewing beneath the surface. When you finally pushed back, it wasn't just a moment of defiance, it was a revelation. Your strength, which they assumed didn't exist, became a force they couldn't ignore. You turned the tables, showing them that their arrogance was their biggest flaw, and their underestimation of you would be their undoing. The game changed because you refused to play by their rules. They expected you to fold, to let their power overwhelm you, but you did the unthinkable, you fought back. Your courage didn't just surprise them, it exposed their vulnerabilities. Suddenly, they weren't as powerful as they believed, and their confidence began to crumble. What started as an easy conquest for them turned into a battle they weren't prepared to fight. Your strength wasn't just physical, it was mental, emotional, and spiritual. They thought they could break you by targeting the surface, your circumstances, your environment, your immediate challenges. But resilience runs much deeper than that. It's not about the absence of struggle, it's about the ability to endure and grow stronger because of it. You had an unshakable foundation that couldn't be easily toppled. Every time they pushed, you stood firm, refusing to bend under the weight of their attacks. And that kind of strength is something they didn't know how to handle. Resilience is often invisible until it's put to the test. You didn't flaunt your strength or make bold declarations of your ability to withstand challenges. Instead, you let your actions speak louder than words.
And
when they
joy
tested
beneath
your
the veil
limits,
of pain.
they discovered that those limits were
This
far beyond what
self-awareness
they could
brings forth a
comprehend.
profound sense of
Each attempt to break you only revealed how deeply rooted your strength truly was. It wasn't just a battle of willpower, it was a revelation of your character.
You also
Their
have
efforts
immense
to
power
undermine you
because you have
backfired
the
because
ability
they
to
didn't
observe
realize They were
deeply.
dealing with someone who thrives under pressure. While they may have been prepared to dominate someone weaker, they weren't prepared for someone like you. Your endurance wasn't just surprising, it was intimidating. They didn't just face resistance, they faced the kind of resilience that left them questioning their own power. You see, their biggest miscalculation wasn't in their actions but in their assumptions about you. They built their strategy on the belief that you were weak, unaware, and incapable of fighting back. It wasn't their plans that failed, it was their inability to see you for who you truly are. They thought you lacked the courage, the intelligence, and the determination to rise to the occasion. But in assuming that, they set themselves up for failure. Your ability to adapt and fight back shattered every expectation they had. They underestimated your capacity to rise above challenges.
Being natural is.
They thought pressure would break you, but instead, it refined you. Every obstacle they threw your way only made you stronger and more determined. Their assumptions about your weakness became the very thing that fueled your strength. They couldn't see the fire within you until it was too late, and by then, they were already consumed by it. Your mental toughness became their worst nightmare. What they thought would be a simple victory turned into a battle they couldn't win. They were unprepared for someone who could outlast and outthink them at every turn. It wasn't just about proving them wrong, it was about proving yourself right. You showed them, and yourself, that their assumptions about you were nothing more than a reflection of their own limitations. And then, there was your intelligence. They relied on brute force, deception, and manipulation, believing these were the keys to control. But you saw through it all. You weren't just reacting to their moves, you were predicting them. Your strategy wasn't just about defense, it was about offense, about staying one step ahead. You turned their own tactics against them, exposing their flaws and weaknesses with every calculated move you made. While they played a simple, straightforward game, you played a much deeper one. You understood their intentions long before they revealed them. Every step they took, you had already anticipated. They thought they were dealing with someone naive, someone who couldn't see the bigger picture. But your ability to outmaneuver them showed just how wrong they were. Their illusions of control didn't just crumble, they disintegrated under the weight of your foresight. The moment you outplayed them, their confidence shattered. They weren't prepared for someone who could match their cunning with strategy, their force with logic, and their arrogance with wisdom. You didn't just defeat them, you exposed the fragility of their power. Their downfall wasn't just a result of your actions, download. It was the result of their failure to recognize the brilliance of your mind. What they couldn't handle was your individuality. You're not like everyone else. You don't follow the crowd. You don't play by their rules. And that's exactly what frustrated them the most. They couldn't manipulate you the way they manipulated others. They couldn't predict your moves because you're not predictable. Your independence, your ability to think for yourself, and your refusal to conform made their usual tricks useless. And that's where their fear comes from. People fear what they don't understand. Your intelligence, your emotional strength, and your unshakable sense of self, they unsettle them. Why? Because they reveal their own weaknesses. When they look at you, they see someone who is stronger, smarter, and more prepared than they ever imagined. And that terrifies them. But let's pause for a moment and reflect on your journey. You didn't just wake up one day with this strength. It was forged through challenges, pain, and perseverance. You earned it. And now, it's time to embrace it. Recognize your power. Own your uniqueness. Understand that the very qualities they fear in you are the ones that make you unstoppable. This isn't about revenge or proving anything to anyone. It's about growth. It's about self-empowerment. It's about moving forward with confidence, knowing that you are capable of overcoming any obstacle and thriving despite the odds. Let their fear serve as a reminder of your strength. Let it motivate you to keep growing, keep pushing, and keep shining. So here's what I want you to do: take a moment to reflect on your own journey. Think about the challenges you've overcome, the strength you've discovered, and the person you've become. And if this resonates with you, if you know deep down that you are someone to be reckoned with, write 777 in the comments below. Let it be a declaration of your power, a symbol of your transformation, and a reminder that you are unstoppable. Remember this: the people who worked against you, who doubted you, who tried to bring you down, are afraid of you now because they see the truth. You are no longer the person they thought they could control. You are stronger, wiser, and more powerful than they ever imagined. And that, my friend, is something they will never forget.